Hey everybody, welcome to Workflow of the Week or WoW update. So we've started seeing some really interesting issues with our Kubernetes cluster, and it appears that it's possibly not just the Kubernetes cluster, so certain other systems are also being affected. What we're seeing that's happening is massive spikes that happen for about 10 minutes, and then everything's back to normal. What it actually appears that it's possibly, because we've been bouncing around these questions in our head, related to is the Ceph cluster. So our Ceph cluster manages everything in the background, and there might be something else that's causing this massive burst of data that is being transferred around, while at the same time the Ceph cluster is trying to do its balancing. So it does balance of data and information between all the different servers so that it goes ahead and manages all the data that's going across. And previously, so in the other data center, in the Austin data center, that we weren't using hyperconverged infrastructure. So everything, we had a data cluster, we had a processing cluster, and then we had a DMZ cluster, and they were all entirely separate. In this one, we're trying to do two different clusters. We're trying to do the data and the processing all together, so that way it's all together, all in one system. And then we're going to have a DMZ cluster. So we have the DMZ cluster, and it handles everything that's outside, and that's all the websites and things like that. And so when people bring data in, we're able to go ahead and keep it segmented and cordoned off. And then that then transfers into our processing solution and handles everything internally. So, the thing that we're starting to see right now with our hyperconverged infrastructure that's in there is that they have these massive spikes, which then causes Kubernetes to also have these giant CPU spikes for about 10 minutes, and then it goes down. And giant spikes, and then it goes down. And it also does the networking, and our I/O also goes right through the roof. So there's data that's transferring back and forth, and how that's happening, we're not really sure. We're not really sure what's happening all throughout that entire data and system, but looks like it's possibly related to Ceph. So, what I'm going to do is I called up one of my advisors. His name's Taylor Denzales, and he worked previously for the Linux Foundation as their head of Kubernetes. And so we reached out to him. He said, let's go ahead and use Lens. And so we're going to use Lens to take a look and see what's happening on the inside. And so that's kind of all the stuff that's happening right now. And it doesn't affect any of our infrastructure or any of our other processing. Everything's just running just fine. It's just these weird, massive spikes that kind of go throughout our system. So everybody go to modtechlabs.com, sign up for wonderful accounts, and follow me for more whatever this weirdness is.